Chat, are we ready? Are we ready? The 2016-17 NBA season. Streamer versus Twitch chat. A reminder of our situations. Cavaliers with quite a few picks in the upcoming first rounds, should we get to them. While chat, not horrifically set up. Not horrifically set up from a draft perspective. And of course, the upcoming draft, Jason Tatum, so many others. That said, we're not exactly focused on the drafts, are we? We're focused on winning. Chat's Timberwolves, 4 straight trips to the Western Conference Final look like this. Lawson, Thompson, Smith, Love, and Pau Gasol as the top 5. Bagel, yeah, they've changed enough over the past few years. You could upgrade at this point. Danny Granger, Leroy Hardy, and Johnny Higgins off the bench. The Cavaliers with Chris Paul, CJ McCollum, Kawhi Leonard, Dante Green, Clint Capella as their top 5, with Marcus Smart, Marcus Morris Sr., Facundo Campazzo, Montrezl Harrell, Robert Covington off the bench. Might this be our final season? We had the block set up for you guys. It's about moving picks and trying to get good as quick as you can. For me, it's about trying to find maybe a few more upgrades if possible. Let's get to simming this particular season, and we will see how this goes as chat gets an offer for a center, which you do not need. Andrew Bogut for Josh Smith. There's no reason to take that particular trade. You would weaken yourself severely at forward and be forced to trade Bogut to try and find a forward. So, yeah. Indeed, indeed. So I get an offer. Morris for 26-year-old Reggie Jackson. Don't need it. Don't need it. Cavaliers also had a bit of a slow start. You guys get an offer. Plumlee for Dedmond. 1-for-1. Plumlee, 26 years old. 75 overall. Still has the A-. Dedmond, 27 years old at 75. There's no real point unless you wanted to cash out on Plumlee. No real point. We march on. The early stages of this season, we have been waiting season after season after season after season for a winner. That's all we can say. For a winner. Will this be the year? Will that trade ultimately be the one that gets Chad over the line, or will it be the one that they rue? I will not be trading Campazzo. No, thank you. Makes no sense for you guys. Just immediately, it makes no sense to weaken your depth right now. If you're going to trade for more depth, it needs to be for draft picks. That deal makes no sense for you. The Timberwolves at 14, now 15-11. Not bad, but not looking to be as dominant as they previously were. Cavaliers with a win as well, 114-92. There's Christmas Eve, a victory over the Jazz of Utah. The place. Never forget. Never forget. I don't know how I feel about a lot of these logos. It's interesting when you actively see the logos getting worse. You know? It's interesting. Again, who needs profit, though? Marcus Smart for Bobby Portis and a first. Can't do it. Can't afford to hurt the depth. Can't do it. It's not a bad deal, but I will not be trading one Marcus Smart. The Cavaliers at 27-9. I gotta figure out what logos I have to deny changing in my franchise. What is it? Sportslogo.net? That would be able to track everything. Again, not a deal that makes sense for you guys. You wouldn't have any center depth whatsoever. You'd lose depth at shooting guard, too. It's another deal that just doesn't make sense for you. Cavaliers continuing to march. We're less than a month away from the trade deadline. Neither one of us with a trade yet this season. The sim is going fucking slow. I don't know why it just hits points like that of just not loading whatsoever. I mean, I can't say whatsoever, but so freaking slowly. Why is it going so slow? Well, how is NHL sim speed better than NBA sim speed? That's the real question. I don't need two power forwards for my backup guard. Yeah, just don't need it. Don't need it. Couple losses to some fellow Eastern Conference competition. You guys got to deal Plumlee for Chambers. Chambers is 24. Let's see. It's not worth it for you at all. NBA does have more features, but it's not that much more expansive. Like this feels like 360 loading time a lot of the time. Like it's slow, man. It's not as if we're running an expansion franchise either with like 48 teams in the league. So it's a little bit weird. So trade deadline's coming up. Neither one of us have made a deal. That's still going to be the case because I'm not taking that. February 9th, 2017. The Minnesota Timberwolves, 4th in the Western Conference at 31-20. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 3rd in the East at 39-14. Got more top teams in the East right now with Washington and Toronto each having 40 wins already. But we are both top 9 in the league at the moment. So obviously, there's really nothing that can be done here. There's not going to be a nuke used or anything like that. Pau Gasol has a year left on his deal. Josh Smith is willing to re-sign. Lawson is too, but you don't have to re-sign him right now. The big name to worry about is Josh Smith. 31 years old. That's going to go to a vote for you guys. Josh Smith. Keep or let go. What do you think about the now veteran in Josh Smith? What's the game plan there? He's the one you would immediately have to worry about re-signing. For my Cavaliers, I don't have anything to worry about. At least not at the moment. What's Jack going to do with Josh Smith? You don't have the natural replacement coming up behind him. Could look to find somebody else, though. I mean, pretty sure, yeah, I hit no. He wants just about $12 million, so he's willing to take a pay cut. He is willing to take a pay cut of $5 million to stick around. How's he performing? Solid option for you. He's just not the star player. The deal was to keep. Give him exactly what he wants. Honestly, I'll even let you lower the price a little bit, even though we haven't been negotiating too much. There you go. Josh Smith will be sticking around. We move on. We move on. We move on. That's often why we don't fuck around with the contracts. You're never going to be able to save that much money unless you start handing every player no trade clauses and options, and that could just fuck you up even more than having a little bit of extra cap hit. So we will see how the rest of this season goes. We'll see. We will see. Will this be the last run? Both of us in a playoff situation. Unless something drastically changes. Hey, you guys finally beat the Chicago Bulls. Congratulations. I know I saw people joking about us meeting in the finals. It's happened before. I believe in a Draft of Glory series, though. If I am not mistaken. 30 million in the red. Hey, who cares about profits when you're winning? I don't know if that adds up necessarily, but you get the point. You get the point. Looks like it's still going to be a 50-win season for Minnesota. Not quite the 60 you were always flirting with previously. I mean, God, you had a 69-win season. But still a very respectable season. LeBron stayed in Miami in this reality. He was a free agent this season. I tried to bring him back. He went back to Miami. So did Dwayne Wade, pretty sure. Bosch went to Washington. Your MVP, yet again, Anthony Davis of the Toronto Raptors. Rookie of the Year, Detroit's Ben Simmons. Sixth Man of the Year, Philadelphia's D'Angelo Russell. Defensive Player of the Year, Cleveland's Kawhi Leonard. Most Improved, Los Angeles, Dion Waiters. Coach of the Year, Dallas's Frank Vogel. Executive of the Year, Washington's dude, David Powell. The NBA first team is Wall, Westbrook, Davis, LeBron James, and DeMarcus Cousins. The all-defensive team is Thompson, Rondo, Leonard, Davis, and DeAndre Jordan. And the all-rookie team is Sabonis, Dunn, Murray, and Ben Simmons. In the postseason, the 4th seed Timberwolves will take on the LA Lakers, while the 3 seed Cavaliers will square off with the Brooklyn Nets. We have both made the playoffs for the 3rd season in a row. The question is, can either of us make the most of it? That is the question. We will get a prediction live as we take a look at some of the numbers from the end of the season. As for your Timberwolves, it was Thompson and Love who continued to do well. Pau Gasol averaged 15 points a night. Lawson at 11, 7.6 assists per game. For my Cavaliers, it's Kawhi Leonard. I do have an injury to Marcus Smart. He is out for the season with a ruptured right Achilles. He was the backup behind CJ McCollum, but I definitely lose a bit of depth there and defense that I did not want to lose. Unfortunate. In terms of the game plan, for the Cavs, I mean, I'll certainly be shortening it down from 10. Going to go with the typical playoff 7 to keep those stars out there. Although Harrell has been playing really well. Probably going to go 7. For you guys, you're already, you're at 8. You might as well drop down to 7 as well. It's typically the way to go. Gets Klay Thompson out there a lot. So, there you go, chap. There you go. Our opposition, the Lakers and the Nets. the New Jersey. We've been playing too much now. The Brooklyn Nets look like this. DJ Augustine, dude named Dale Strickland, Fred Van Fleet. Shooting guard is Alec Burks, my former player in Victor Oladipo. At forward, Jay Crowder, dude named Kyle Anderson, just outright Kyle Anderson. Power forward, Derek Favors, Chris Humphreys, Frank Kaminsky. And at center, Brooke Lopez, Ian Mahinmi. That's obviously a very, very winnable series for me. Very winnable. For you guys against the Lakers, Steph Curry. Steph Curry at point guard. An injured Aaron Aflalo, shooting guard. At forward, Rudy Gay. Power forward, Charlie Villanueva. And at center, Linwood Kersey. Tristan Thompson as well. Steph Curry. And the LA Lakers trying to end Minnesota's season in the first round, but we go to Cavs and Nets to start off this playoff run. Game 1 in Cleveland. It should be a winnable series for me, as we do survive Game 1, 119 to 111. 34 points for Kawhi, 32 for CJ McCollum, and the 12 assists there for Chris Paul. The other side, Burks dropped 32, Oladipo with 20, but it was not enough. Game 1 goes to the Cavs. As we go to Game 1, Timberwolves and Lakers. And you guys beat Steph Curry and the Lakers. The answer in Game 1 was a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be. The answer is yes, 125 to 117. Great game for Klay Thompson. Doubles for Love and Smith. And a victory for Minnesota despite 26 from Villanueva and a double for Seth Curry. Steph Curry. Not his brother. If Seth Curry was going off like that in the playoffs, then holy shit. We go to Game 2 in Cleveland. Both of our teams up 1-0 in their respective series. The Nets making a strong push in this game and survive. 120 to 114. 40 points from Kawhi. Wasn't enough. A double from Green as well, my new power forward on the other side. 21 points for the former Cav and Oladipo. He just had good depth scoring. 1-1 in the East. Go to Game 2. Klay versus Steph, indeed. Indeed. And neither of them is a Warrior. Heartbreaking. Slightly lower scoring affair, but a victory for the Lakers, 94-84. Danny Granger picks up an injury. Doubles from Gasol and Love. Thompson drops 27, but Curry's 25 led the way. On the other side, a victory for the Lakers as both of our series go 1-1. Granger is still healthy enough to play, by the way. Game 3. So we head to Brooklyn. What's it going to be? In Brooklyn, the Nets, off a strong fourth quarter, held us to just 13 points. And Clint Capella suffers a major injury. 19 points for Green. Kawhi didn't really show up. Nobody fouled out. A tough loss to Brooklyn. I trail in the series, and I just lost my starting center. Ivica Zubac. The Zubac will be my new starter, and to be honest, Harrell can play center. I probably have to expand the bench to 8. Probably. Just to get Harrell in there. I'm honestly surprised it doesn't just play him at starter. No Marcus Smart. No Clint Capella. Not a good situation for me to be in. Game 3. Wolves and Lakers. in Los Angeles. Close game. Timberwolves survive it. 111 to 101. 30 points from Clay. Another double for Kevin Love and Pau Gasol. 22 points from Curry. Needs a little bit more. It's best of 7. So 2-1 for the Wolves. As I go to a big freaking game 4 here with a rookie center because of the Clint Capella injury. The Cavs survive in overtime, 107 to 103. The new man, Green, puts up 36 points. Reaver, you guys went on a run of winning game 1s last season. Double for Morris, double for Paul. Big win for the Cavs that we desperately, desperately needed. That series now at 2-2. It's 2-1 for the Timberwolves, trying to take that commanding lead. Can they do it, or will the Lakers tie the series? Close game. Timberwolves win. 106 to 95. 1 win away from making it back to the second round. Kevin Love continues to deliver, as Gay and Curry just could not do enough. So a 3-1 lead for Minnesota. Big game in Cleveland. Big game in Cleveland. Who will have the advantage in game 6? $132 to 102, thanks to 30 points from McCollum and Leonard. And the Cavaliers, ooh, a double for Zubac as well, not bad. A double for numerous players across the board. And 1 win away from the second round, thanks to Mr. Zubac. Good old Ivica Zubac. I am aware, by the way. We go to what could be the final game of the Lakers season. And the Timberwolves end the series. Minnesota wins 4 straight. Or no, not 4 straight, but 3 in a row. I thought for a second you guys lost game 1. That's right, that didn't happen. 136 to 107. 40-point efforts from both Love and Thompson. And the Minnesota Timberwolves eliminate Steph Curry and the LA Lakers. They are the first team to move to the second round. And it's already confirmed who you'll be playing. Russell Westbrook and the Dallas Mavericks. By the way, shout out to the Thunder for still making the playoffs. The Raptors have also moved on. Can the Cavaliers punch their ticket to the second round once more? Brooklyn keeping it close. Brooklyn pulls away and forces game 7 by 3. 47 points from Kawhi, a double from Paul. It wasn't enough. Oladipo, my former Rookie of the Year, dropped 27. We go to game 7. Utah advances while Sacramento and New Orleans go 7. Indiana and Philly also go 7 as Washington eliminates Chicago. One more game. I got to drop the bench down to 6 and keep my stars out there as much as possible. Game 7. Game 7. Can the Brooklyn Nets eliminate the Cavaliers? The Cleveland Cavaliers survive 89 to 80 and take game 7. McCollum led the way in points. Another double for Paul and Zubac. Thank God. And it'll be the Washington Wizards next, as Sacramento will take on Utah and Toronto will take on Indiana. Utah pulling off the only upset on either side of the bracket so far. So we take a look here at the playoff numbers. Kawhi averaging 30 points. Green averaging a double-double. The loss of Clint Capella does not... does not help. Does not help. For Chat's team, Klay Thompson, Kevin Love, absolutely dominating. Pau Gasol, 13 points, 8 rebounds per game. That is it for the opening round. As we get ready for round number 2. It is Dallas and Washington. Dallas and Washington. Nothing for you guys to change lineup-wise. I'm going to go back to 7 out of the 6 just to not run my guys into the ground. Let's see what happens. Dallas and Washington. The Washington Wizards, my opponents, look like this. John Wall, who has won a Finals MVP in this run with George Hill behind him. Nick Young. Nicholas Batum. Chris Bosh. And Terry Alvarado as a center. Not an easy matchup. For Chat, taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Russell Westbrook. Devin Harris behind him. A young Devin Booker at shooting guard. Forward, Damari Carroll. Power forward, Julian Wright. And at center, it's Embiid and Greg Oden. On paper, I probably have the slightly more difficult matchup, but Russell Westbrook has not treated you all too kindly in this franchise. We start off Wizards and Cavaliers. I have not had very good luck against Washington in the playoffs. But we do survive a close game 1 to take it 120 to 112 off of 28 points and 16 assists from Chris Paul. A double as well for Green, 24 points for Kawhi Leonard. John Wall, 26 points, 13 assists on the other side. Game 1, Minnesota and Dallas. The Timberwolves knock out Russell Westbrook and his new team. They win game 1, 105 to 100. 22 points from Klay Thompson and a double from Ty Lawson. Nobody fouled out, by the way. Embiid on the other side with a double of his own. Westbrook held to just 17 points. And Julian Wright picked up an injury. Rough break for them. Game 2. Cavaliers and Wizards. Already happy with a game 1 victory. Neutralize that home court advantage a little bit. Cavaliers up 2-0. God, it's so cringe. Ha ha ha, he did a Star Wars and he's expected to play. It's so fucking cringe. Jesus Christ. 128 to 116. 30 points, 16 assists from Chris Paul. A double from Green and Zubats as well. On the other side, 19 points, a double actually from Wall and from Bosh. 2-0 Cavaliers. As we go to game 2, Timberwolves and Mavericks. Mavs looking to take a 2-0 lead. And they almost got caught, but they win 115 to 113. Thompson on 32 points, doubles for Love and Pau Gasol. 23 points, 13 assists from Westbrook on the other side. Embiid and Booker both had good games, but it wasn't enough. Both of our teams up 2-0 in the second round. It's game 3 for the Cavaliers on home court. Looking to take a commanding 3-0 lead, and they do. 96-91, thanks to another double-double from Chris Paul. McCollum with 26 points, and Morris with the double as well. John Wall, double on the other side. Same for Bosch. And it was not enough. The Cavaliers, one win away from making it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time under my control. As the Mavericks looking to make it, 5 straight Western Conference Finals appearances? Not the Mavericks, the Timberwolves, that is. As Minnesota will take a 3-0 series lead as well. 124-93, 45 points from Thompson, doubles for Love, Lawson, and Pau Gasol. As we are dominating our opponents in the second round. Can the Cavaliers end this series? The Sacramento Kings await the winner in the Western Conference Finals. Here we go. The Wizards trying to extend this series, but the Cavaliers, man, aren't having it. We'll see if the Dallas Mavericks can do the same. The Cleveland Cavaliers are off to the Eastern Conference Final as the big free agent signing in green, but 35 points. Am I okay? I'm just very tired tonight. I'm just very tired. That's all. I had a busy day. A tired boy. The Cavaliers move on. Will the Timberwolves do the same? As it looks like it'll be the Raptors for me on the other side. Minnesota trying to end this series. Apparently Josh Smith is not at 100%, and it's not going to matter. Minnesota, Sacramento, Western Conference Finals. Love and Thompson, Gasol as well, all at least with 23 points. Doubles for Lawson and Love. As Westbrook and Embiid fall. Both of our teams in the Final Four. Both of our teams in the Final Four. Will it be the Toronto Raptors? Yes, it will be. 1 versus 3, 2 versus 4 in the conference final. We look at the numbers for you guys so far. Again, it's Clay, 31 points. Kevin Love, Pau Gasol, Lawson for that matter. All averaging doubles on the other side. Chris Paul had himself a series for Cleveland, as did Dante Green. And even Zubats averaged at least 10 rebounds a game. Campazzo's slightly roughed up. Still no Marcus Smart. Still no Clint Capella. I'd be lucky to even have him back for the NBA Final. But in terms of whether or not I'll make it there, well, it's the Toronto Raptors. Which is where it gets to be rough. Raptors and Kings awaiting us. Let's take a look at Chat's opponents and what is their 5th straight conference finals appearance. Sacramento going to be putting Kemba Walker at point guard. Isaiah Thomas behind him. Corey Maggette, the veteran, at shooting guard. At forward, Wilson Chandler and Zach Randolph. And at center, DeMarcus Cousins, who was injured when you guys last played them in the playoffs. So Cousins is there. Will he be the difference maker? On the other side, the Toronto Raptors. At point guard, Kyrie Irving. At shooting guard, DeMar DeRozan. Forward, Torrey Craig. Power forward, Anthony Davis. And at center, Nikola Jokic. How's that for a big 4 in Toronto? How's that for a big 4? And they got that core locked in. Game number 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs and Raptors. And the Toronto Raptors take game 1, 116-105. We kept it close for a while. The Raptors take game 1, 25 points from Paul. Quite a few of our top scorers were up there, but 41 points from Kyrie Irving. Their top 3 all with at least a double-double. Game 1 to Toronto. Can Minnesota make it past the conference finals for the second time? Ran into the Chicago Bulls' Derrick Rose buzzsaw in that finals appearance. Stubbs, what's going on, my man? It's a close one, but it's a win. 99-96. Minnesota takes game 1. Big performances from Thompson, Love, and Josh Smith. Julius Randle on the other side, 22 points. Game 2. Raptors and Cavs. Stubbs, I know what you meant. Game 2 goes to Toronto. 109-97. 23 points for both Kawhi and Green. But DeRozan, Davis, Kyrie all had very, very good games. Someone like Jokic can foul out after 23 minutes. Fucking Raptors, man. Game 2. Minnesota looking to go 2-0 up in the series. Sacramento had a different plan in mind. But they nearly blew it. 126-111, a triple-double for Cousins. 32 points for Kemba Walker. Sacramento has tied the series at 1 apiece, despite 37 points from Klay Thompson. Game 3. Honestly, it is what it is at this point. Just got to run it. Game number 3. Raptors won both games at home to start the series. Can the Cavs win one? Yes, they can. 125-115. 34 points for Kawhi, doubles for McCollum, Green, and Paul. This chat should really be the biggest supporter of mine. I wouldn't want to play the Raptors either. Kyrie Irving, 32 points, but it was not enough. Cavs back in the series. Game 3. Kings and Timberwolves now in Minnesota. It's a 1-1 split. And the Timberwolves are going to fucking dominate. 140-77. And a 2-1 series lead. You know, if you play chat in the final and chat wins, they'll be insufferable. I mean, that's fine. I'd still be up 3-1 in the series. I'm up 3-1 even if you guys win this. 28 points there for Kevin Love. Doubles for him, Smith, and Lawson. 18 points, 15 rebounds for Cousins on the other side. Damn. Here we go. Big time game 4 for the Cavaliers, trying to avoid a 3-1 drop. Oh, they'll harp on that one win, and that's fine, but that's fine by me. Was close, but the Raptors are up 3-1. 127-121. Leonard and McCollum did what they could. Damn. Kyrie on the other side. It's 3-1 for the Rap. This isn't good. Timberwolves looking to take the same lead on Sacramento. Can they do it? Minnesota, 1 win away from a second trip to the finals off of a big-time double from Kevin Love. Walker and Cousins on the other side couldn't do enough. I'm going to be dropping my bench down to 6. Get the starters out there as much as possible. Cavaliers trying to extend the series. It's one game at a time. That can be the only approach. Trying to stay alive. The Toronto Raptors are off to the NBA Final, eliminating the Cavaliers in 5 games. A triple-double for Jokic, Irving, and Davis. Great games as well. I had a pretty damn good team. Losing Clint Capella and Marcus Smart did not help. The Raptors advance. Damn. I got a good team, man, but they're just a fucking buzzsaw. They're just an absolute buzzsaw. Paul was still pretty good at a double, but he did not do as well as he had in the prior matchup. You know, he had a tougher matchup with Kyrie. But, yeah, Paul had a decent series, but just in general, our defense wasn't up to snuff. Will Chad advance to take on the Raptors? That is the question. My season has come to an end. Chad needs one win to get to the final. But they're going to have to wait for it. Sacramento takes game 5. 41 points, 19 rebounds from Cousins. As Love did what he could. So did Thompson, but we go to game number 6. Can the Timberwolves end this series? Their second opportunity to do so. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going back to the NBA Final. 106-85, 43 points from Thompson, doubles from Love and Gasol. The Minnesota Timberwolves will take on the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Final. They're off to the final. So we take a look. Thompson and Love getting it done. Powell, the 15 points. They're back in the final after a few seasons away. We already know what the Raptors look like. So there's no reason to look at their team. There's no reason to drag this out necessarily. We're going to get to just go for it. Wolves and Raptors in the NBA Final. Does the LeBron era end here with a Chat win? Only one weak spot in that Raptors lineup, and it's Josh Richardson at forward. Everywhere else, they are incredibly strong. The NBA Final. What's it going to be? Does the era end here?
Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Minnesota Timberwolves proved they had what it takes to be conference champions, winning in 6 games. Now, only one obstacle stands between them and the Larry O'Brien Trophy. It all starts now as they battle against the Toronto Raptors. The pinnacle of the postseason. The NBA Finals is here.
Beautiful. Oh, Kevin Love against the Brow.
Biggest stage, the NBA Finals. It begins here, and 2K Sports is happy to bring.
Raptors still have their old floor.
Our game tonight featuring the Toronto Raptors as they go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is Kevin Harlan courtside with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, and our
Stretch it out.
the sideline, David Aldridge.
Get a look at the lineups. See who wins the opening tip-off at Air Canada Center.
So the Timberwolves win.
Timberwolves ball. Let's see how it goes. Game 1 of the NBA Final in Toronto.
Here comes a pizza, see it?
Necro, thank you for the 52 months.
Highly unnecessary.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have taken game 1, 106-96, off of the back of 26 points from Klay Thompson, a double from Kevin Love. Anthony Davis, the only big name to have shown up in that game for the Raptors. Game 1 to the Timberwolves. Chat 3 wins away from potentially winning an era. Imagine. And let's be honest, Crash, people are going to be too busy chirping about the trade and being right. So, I'm not too worried about getting chirped, especially with a 3-1 lead. Game 2. Minnesota off to an incredible start. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are 2 wins away from the NBA Finals victory. It's finally going to happen. Love, Thompson leading the way. Ty Lawson. Kyrie dropped 41, Jokic 33, but the defense was non-existent. A 2-0 lead for the Timberwolves as we go to game 3. The Raptors win. You got to start worrying about the home team trend. Into the 4th. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 1 win away from being crowned champions. 129-125. 1 win away from being crowned champions. Can they do it? Game 4 in Minnesota. Trying to end it. The Minnesota Timberwolves are NBA champions. Chat wins their first era of this challenge. Mercifully, they finally win one.
There's a minute 47 left here in the 4th.
It took a hell of a lot longer than it looked like it was going to.
The pass to Love.
Fouling like that isn't how.
But the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to get it done. And they're going to do so by sweeping a stacked Toronto Raptors team.
And it's Hardy in for Ty Lawson.
Wow.
He's checked in for Toronto.
Crash Andrews was right.
Anthony Davis grabs the miss. Davis has got rebound.
The Civil War in chat leads to the win. Little did I know, I helped chat win. Oh, if I declined that trade, who knows what would have happened.
At the basket, didn't hesitate, and that aggression.
There you go. You're welcome, chat. You're welcome.
With a clean sweep in the final.
And guys, once
Crash, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing right now. But redemption for Crash Andrews. As it turns out, going for it is the right decision. Which, I'm glad you guys finally learned that from my 3 prior victories. I'm glad you finally learned.
Excellent activity and timing on the offensive.
What a win, though, huh?
You get extra possessions.
Barrett, we sure are.
Pass to Higgins.
Into the corner. Woo! The bench warmers showing off at the end of this game.
What kind of attitude this team has. I mean, the win is there. Go get
I wonder what would have happened if I didn't trade you guys Pau Gasol. I wonder. That does seem to have been the missing piece. I mean, in fairness, the deal worked out well for me in terms of Immediately, I was able to get to the conference final with Chris Paul. No doubt he helped my team. Just didn't have enough. Kawhi wasn't quite as dominant as Kevin Love happened to be. The Minnesota Timberwolves win. Chat gets it done. Finally winning their first era. It took a new era compared to last year. There was only 3 eras last year. Chat gets it done, eliminating the Raptors. Crash, it's just you fist pumping, my man, and smiling like hell. Make it public. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh, look at Pau Gasol.
The bench loves it.
It wouldn't have been a chat win without me helping you, wouldn't it?
This is one of those moments these players
Wouldn't have been a chat win. Let's be honest, chat. I mean, I traded you Pau Gasol. I told you to keep Ty Lawson. I'm just saying. My fingerprints are on that championship as well. That's an undeniable fact. It's not my championship, but my fingerprints are on that trophy. Much like Josh Smith's fingerprints are through the trophy. Would have won. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you had Lillard instead of Lawson, you would have won earlier. Chat wins their first era. Klay Thompson and the Minnesota Timberwolves get it done. Congratulations to Chat. You finally got one. It took you fucking 40 years. But you got one. Klay Thompson, tremendous game. Well, there you go. Kyrie on the other side. There it is. Chat gets their first win of the eras. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Our champions, Kevin Love, surprise, surprise, wins Finals MVP. You inherited a star player. You built the right core around him. And the Minnesota Timberwolves get it done. I am intrigued, as I always am, by how things might have played out if they continued. So we'll take a quick little stroll down the what could have been rabbit hole, including a new timeout system. Bunch of uniform and floor changes. The Raptors finally changed their floor after changing the unis. Yeah, a bunch of changes. Right before you guys got your new look as well. Right before I would have gotten a new look too. So go figure. Yeah, there were a fuckload of changes. I mean, practically every team, right? Or every team. So, crazy amount of changes. The draft lottery, for the hell of it. You guys had the 9th pick. Thanks to a trade. I don't know if there was anything attached to that. And it looks like there was. So the Clippers kept their pick because it was a lottery. I would have had picks 15, 18, and 25. 26 as well. And you guys would have had the 30th overall pick. So wouldn't have been a superstar for me in this draft. It would have been a lot of depth, as I do want to see how this draft would have played out. Sim to my next pick and see what's on the board. Obviously, there's a trade offer. We won't know if I would have taken it. I just want to look at who's on the board. Dylan Brooks. Let's be honest, based off of who's left. Well, I mean, Jared Allen's there too. But yeah, so I mean, it would have been a decent draft for me in terms of available players and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, I probably just would have taken like Luke Kennard. I just want to go through this so we can double check another trade there. Bishop, what's going on? I probably would have taken a lot of the picks and continued to trade down. So it would have been, man, I got a fucking trade offer for 3 out of the 4. Jesus Christ. Doesn't even matter. Chris Boucher, whatever. Just to get it over and done with. Chat didn't get a trade offer there. They could have taken whoever. Take a center, chat. Why not? All the talks about taking centers. We can just sim to the end. See how the draft would have played out. Donovan Mitchell went to the Spurs. Tatum to the Nuggets. Kyle Kuzma to the Celtics. Lonzo went 4th. But yeah, just a look at how the first round would have gone in this particular year. But it turned out to not be a necessary season. Turned out not to be. Ozzy, you missed the playoffs and you missed a chat victory. The Minnesota Timberwolves, champions, and ending the LeBron era in 2017.